I'm Jura, the time traveler, and this is my lifestyle time travel blog. Today we are talking about the ancient gossip. Gossip has always been around, even in the antiquity, and it was a powerful weapon, especially for those who didn't have much power because of their social status. So unfortunately, it was often the weapon of the poor and women. And that is because gossip is often connected to fame. And even in Greek and Roman mythology, there was the personification of fame, called Pheme in ancient Greece and Fama in ancient Rome. When you're in her favor, you gain notability. But if you're on her bad side, then you can feel her wrath, and that is scandalous gossip. Because she is described as she who initiates the conversation, and she was a huge gossip. So she pried into the business of mortals and gods alike, and then she spread what she learned or heard or saw, first as a whisper, but then louder and louder and louder until everybody heard it. I've prepared some gossip for you, but I don't think that that's enough. So I'll call my friend Kronos to help me.
Well, hi there.
Hi, you're so fast.
Okay. I'm always down for some juicy gossip.
So have you prepared some?
Oh, yes.
Do you want me to start first?
Please, lady.
Okay. Have you heard about this one? It's called Harem Conspiracy.
Ah, yes, of course, my friend Ramses III.
Ramses III was the second king of 20th dynasty, so New Kingdom. And this harem conspiracy was actually a plan to kill him. You know that he wanted his son Ramses IV to succeed him. But that didn't sit well with his wife, well, with one of his wives, Lydia, because she wanted her son, Ramses III and her son, Pentower, to succeed him. And to do that, she had to eliminate Ramses III. So what did she do? She made a plan with, and this story is really like a film script. I think that one film can be, one extremely interesting action film can be made based on this story, because she had chief of pantry, cattle overseer, harem overseer, overseer of the king's treasury, and the clerk of harem, all together in this plan.
Wow, what a group of professionals.
Well, kind of. You see, the pantry chief, or
Beckham,
that was his name, he was the one who organized everything. He planned even the day when they're going to attack the king. And that was the beautiful Feast of the Valley, one of the festivals celebrated in Thebes, because this all happened in Thebes. And this day was selected because of the commotion, you know, and the crowd everywhere, and people paid less attention to details. They were, you know, partying, having fun, and they didn't pay that much attention.
Little did they know that their king is about to be killed.
Yes, and they actually succeeded in killing the king. They succeeded in this part of their plan, but not in putting Pentower on the throne.
Oh.
Yes, everybody from this conspiracy went to the court, and they were sentenced to, well, 28 of them was sentenced to death, and the others some
Minor
mutilations, for example. And this just shows the amount of people included in this conspiracy.
Operation Vestal. Oh, I have one about an ancient emperor from Rome, Elagabalus. This guy became an emperor at early age, 14, I would say.
He was so young.
Yes, but many considered him very incompetent because he liked to party.
Well, of course he was a child.
Yes, he liked to party, but he had big sexual appetites, you know.
He was in puberty, so that's explainable.
Okay. Oh, you're very considerate.
Always.
But he wanted to marry basically everyone. Even a Vestal virgin, even chariot driver and one slave.
So he really wanted to marry them or just to be in a relationship?
No. He actually wanted to marry them. And on top of that, he would dress up as a woman. And some say that he was the first transgender historical figure.
Well, that was really scandalous in Rome.
He offered a lot of money to the best physician to perform gender reassignment surgery.
And did he succeed?
Well, we don't know that. It's all allegedly.
Elagabalus died really young, at the age of 18. And he was, we can all agree that he was an incompetent ruler. But there is a certain aspect of Roman culture, and that is to assign certain attributes to incompetent rulers. And those attributes are always insanity and sexual perversion. So he was probably eccentric, but we do not know the exact extent of his perversion. Oh, you've mentioned Vestal virgins. Do you know one scandal involving Marcus Licinius Crassus and a Vestal virgin?
Oh, you mean business affair?
Well, some would say
Went
business.
wrong.
Yes, actually yes. You see, Marcus Licinius Crassus was part of the first triumvirate with Caesar and Pompey, and he was extremely wealthy. And he had a cousin called Licinia, and she was a Vestal virgin. But Marcus Licinius Crassus was extremely cheap. He didn't want to pay full price for anything. But Licinia owned a luxurious villa in the suburbs, and that villa caught the eye of Marcus Licinius Crassus. So he wanted to be on Licinia's good side and get the estate cheap. And he was hovering around her. They were pretty close.
Was it like a love affair?
Well, people thought that it was a love affair, and they ended up at court. Especially Licinia, who was a Vestal virgin. She was accused for breaking her vow of chastity, because Vestal virgins, the name says, they have to be virgins while they're in service of this goddess. And she defended herself that that was not a love affair, but that they were doing some business transactions. And that is why they were alone. That was the problem, that they were alone at times. And you don't know what happens behind the closed door. You can only trust their word. But she had good reputation, so the others believed her, and she was freed from all charges.
Poor man couldn't do business without being accused of adultery.
Well, I don't think that he is a poor man and that he is not a bit shady. But he can have this one. He can have this one. But and this was actually, this might not sound too scandalous, but this was a great scandal in Rome, because people were saying, people were whispering, and their reputation really suffered, especially hers. Always, it's the woman who suffers the most.
And our next rumor comes from Kingdom of Lydia.
That's in Western Turkey,
Yes.
modern day Western Turkey.
Yes, of course. And its king Scandalous was very obsessed about his wife. So he was obsessed with her beauty, her body, every part of her, let's say that. And he wanted to show her off. And his loyal companion was his bodyguard Gyges. So he proposed to him one crazy idea. And he told him, one night you will come to my bedroom, you will hide behind the door, and when Queen gets undressed, you will see her in her full glory.
And he did he do it?
Well, he kindly refused, because at that time it was very scandalous to see any man or woman naked. So
Yes, they were a bit more conservative than ancient Greeks.
So refused, but king insisted, so he had to obey his order. He did exactly what the king told him, and he saw the naked queen, but when he was leaving, the queen saw him. But she kept quiet.
Why? She had a plan.
She had a plan.
She had a plan.
And next morning she summoned him and she told him, I know that my husband is behind this, but I'm giving you two options. You either kill the king and marry me, or you will be publicly accused of seeing me naked.
Dramatic.
Yes. Well, naturally, Gyges opted for the first option, so he repeated the same action, and when king went to bed, he slaughtered him.
So he hid behind the door, waiting for king to go to
the
bed,
same
and then... I get it.
And he became the next ruler of Lydia.
What an interesting story. We have diverse group of characters in our gossip session today.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm hoping for the part 2.
There will be certainly part 2 because ancient history is filled with scandals. And if you have a favorite ancient scandal, you can write it in our comments.
Thank you for watching, and you know what to do.
Like, subscribe, share, send to all, and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.